Shoal Creek Music Park opened in the 60s. It was founded by Alton Walters and his wife Bertha Mae Walters. They ran it up until the 80s. They booked anyone you can think about, country-wise, Conley Twitty, Dolly Parton, Porter Wagner, George Jones, Tammy Wynette, Loretta Lynn. Basically, it was a halfway point between Atlanta and Greenville, and anyone passing through the area stopped here and got some gigs. And the Walters ran it up until the 80s, and that's when my family acquired it. And we ran it up until about 2010, 2011. And now, for the most part, it's private conservation. Just lets the leaves grow and the trees rise. And in the meantime, I do some recording with myself and my friends and whoever needs it. Done everything from bluegrass, rock and roll, rap, hip hop, experimental, foley, spoken word, acapella, alternate, anything. If it makes a noise, we've picked it up. You spend most of your time listening, and then when someone asks, what do you think of this, what do you think of that, that's a whole can of worms. You have to ask yourself, well, is it my place to offer, what opinion am I offering here? Is it an artistic opinion? Is it a utilitative opinion? Sometimes the project dictates that they have a pretty clear vision of the sound that they're going for, and in that case, my role is just to make sure everything gets from point A to Z without, having to change a cable here and there or fix some broken down piece of machinery. And then sometimes you have folks that come in with basically a block of clay. Like, I need you to help me chisel. Started, the first real serious project was the Hums. It was a rock and roll band from Athens, Georgia, where we really were from Hartwell, Livonia area, but we lived in Athens for a short period of time and started getting a lot of things and shows happening out there. So that was sort of our home base for a bit. And through that, met a lot of bands and groups and folks that wanted to record or needed some backup players. So the Hums, we backed a lot of times kind of the built-in backing band of the studio too. We've backed up Uncle Goo. That was a country artist that we've done 2 albums with. We backed him up for both of those, and several other groups that have came through. The current album I've been working on by a fellow, Sean Hart. We've done a lot of backing on there, and he's been working on his record here for about a year, a little over a year. It's hopefully coming out at the end of this year. I believe he's calling it Drowning in Reverse. So that's the most current thing, other than my friend John Bleach. He plays a good bit of drums in the Hums. We've been working on a project called William Ross Group. We've put out 1 album so far with it. It's called Early Hits and Rarities. And we put that out a few years ago, and we've been working on a follow-up to that. And earlier this year, I put out a collection of some tape loops that I made, and that was sort of my first venture into that. I sort of wanted to make something you could put on in the background and not have to sit and listen and pay attention, but you could really just go on about your day, do whatever task, and just have it going on in the background. Roaming around the park, me and Bleach, with a little handheld recorder, kind of like that Zoom there, and we were just recording a bunch of one-shots, jumping in the leaves, punching a gutter. There's this old piano down on the stage. You see, the music part, half the year they had shows at the creek, and the other half they would have shows up here in the wintertime. So down at the creek, there's still this piano down there that, bless its heart, has been down there for 40 years, and it might have 2 or 3 keys that still work. So we went down there and we banged on it for a little bit and recorded the one shots of that. Well, I was able to sample that on my MIDI keyboard and start playing tunes through there, and really opened up for me. I mean, this is technology that's been around since the 80s, but for me, it's just opened up a whole new world of composition and inspiration, and a way to come up with ideas and songs, things you would never even hear of. You know, you can start playing a sample of your foot crunching through the leaves, and it'll produce a rhythm that I never would have thought of just sitting behind a drum kit. But then I can put that rhythm in the headphones of the leads and get behind a drum kit and play along to the leads and just come out with something that, like I said, I never would have imagined to begin with. That's been a big project, and we are incorporating a lot of that into the William Ross Group album that we're trying to put together this year. Had the privilege of working on the Chrome Cone and stuff. Had a lot of fun with that, with Guttersville Records, and those were a lot of fun songs to work on. It took me back to when we were working on some old projects together, and it was good to hear your voice again and see where you're going and knowing where you're coming from. And I've really had a good time working on that, and I appreciate you having me on board for that.